Rag has quickly become my favorite hero to play. Like, this buddy is so versatile and flexible. There's so many cool interactions and combos that I'll try to show off in this video as well. I just love a board that scales AFK without you needing to invest anything. I just watch stuff grow by itself and go absolutely insane. So I'm staying on 1, and we got a great Trickster pair. I've been loving Trickster because it's an easy triple to find, and scaling it up, it's just good. Like a big Trickster, it's just good on most boards, especially since I'm playing Rag. My hero power can passively scale it up and I can taunt it, whatever. So we are staying down here because I do want to get my buddy, and I do still have a hero power that needs to, you know, activate by beating my opponents and killing stuff. Now, issue is that we're into less of an avenge meta right now. People are actually playing strong Weaver boards, so it's kind of harder to get your hero power done with Rag, which is something important to keep in mind. But you have a tier 4 buddy anyway, so you get it, I don't know, like turn 6, maybe turn 7. I was able to find a triple. I'm able to double level here as well because I picked up a Swabby, and now you could triple into a 4 or a 5. Both work. There's a lot of good 5s that have synergy with your buddy. In case you don't know the buddy just triggers end of turn effects twice. I should clarify that. But there's also a bunch of 4s that are good, like Major Domo, Gold Gribber, and also I am still Rag. I need to play for tempo, so I'm just gonna triple into a 4, not take too much risk, trying to be strong here. And Greasebot is not amazing. These triples were kinda rough, so I'll just take an Argus so I can taunt my Trickster already. I'll roll for some better cards to maybe buff with our hero powers soon and be strong. And there's a Cyclone, amazing. So now we can just taunt the Cyclone and the Trickster. I already have a great menagerie setup as well in case I do hit Light Fang. And you know, it's important to state as well that your buddy like works with your hero power. So your hero power passively gets you +6/+6 a turn. Buddy will trigger it the second time, and you will get +12/+12 a turn. So I got my buddy, the tier 4. Neutral, doesn't have a tribe, and luckily our opponent plays an avenge board, so we're able to get our hero power done in the same turn and get that scaling going. He's still on 38 HP, so I can easily just level here, look for better things. I think this buddy has so many cool applications. Even a mummy on my board is gonna give me +1 attack. Doesn't matter a whole lot, like it's a mummy, the +1 attack, whatever, but there's so many end of turn effects that you can just slot in your board. Now, I could end on any of these 4 jobs here, but I think I'll just end on the mummy pair. Not for the extra +1 attack, doesn't matter a whole lot, but it's a pair. And again, a lot of 5s are good here. Light Fang works, Mitrax works, even Firebat on tier 6 works. And dude, I love seeing all these animations go through at the end of the turn. It's a beautiful sight to see the Trickster just grow massively and the Cyclone. We're able to beat this Ragnaros, who is arguably pretty strong as well, also like playing a full on tempo board, and we're able to triple our mummy. So let's see what we get. Do we get the nuts and just build an AFK board? No. So it's not gonna be that easy. All of these kind of suck. I'll just take a Master Realities because Major Domo again will proc twice with this buddy, so I can just spam elementals, buff up this Cyclone massively, and therefore also this Major Domo. So that's why I took it. Now Gribber, interesting enough, works as well. I only have 2 goldens and it's pretty late, so normally with most heroes you don't take a Gribber here, but I wanted to see how fast it will grow if I take it. It's still an amazing triple to hit in case I find Tony. I can golden it or just, you know, yeah, triple it manually, and I'll just freeze the shop because there's a Smoker, which is pretty good. So in 1 turn this Gribber grew to a 12/12 and it got +2 attack from the mummy. Like, everything got so massive already. Look at this Galakron with their big Imp Mama and their other 6 job just taking 16 from a Rag in the mid game. And we're still on 38 HP, still very healthy. Now we could consider going to tier 5 soon, which I'll probably do here. I'm playing down a unit, but it doesn't really matter. We're healthy enough. We still beat a Tavish even while leveling and being down a card and dealing a lot of damage. Like, this is amazing. This is my favorite way to play the game. Like, build a strong board that just uses your buddy to automatically scale itself up. I love comps like that. I'll take a brand because obviously we're still looking like a menagerie comp, and we have 3 gold left. Might as well buy a pair onto the Cyclone because Mega Win 3 could be helpful in the end game, and we could triple it into a Malodon, and it's a golden for Grubber, so no reason to roll here at all. I'll just dump this brand on the board and let the scaling do the work by itself. The golden version of the buddy that we're gonna get soon as well triples the end of turn effect, so we're gonna get even more passive scaling from hero power and from other cards. Right now the Grubber is the only real thing that also benefits from it, and I guess the mummy, but you know, I'm not gonna count +2 attack a turn. Maybe I should. The Ragnaros is the first one able to beat us. We're still, you know, on 33 HP, doesn't matter that much. And this Master of Realities also isn't doing a whole lot. Like, we can still optimize this board a bunch. Like, we still have a pretty crappy board. I'll just play a Spore against Patches because I assume they might just be big pirates. There's a Jug, which is alright. And I'm probably selling the Master since we're never gonna go into it. The Mummy is still more useful to me since it's golden. And it's a mech that I could eventually module. Maybe I still find the Light Fang, then it becomes pretty decent. Yeah, we're just gonna slam this Spore on the board and hopefully surprise the Patches. And I wonder if we will have enough stats. Like, we're not scaling a whole lot. Are we able to outscale a pirate player who's probably gonna play with like Hoggers and stuff? And oddly enough, he has like 2 golden Gribbers, another Gribber. He isn't really doing Hogger shenanigans. The Ghoul does get rid of my Spore as well, which is painful. But I also got my Triple Buddy, which is another golden on the board for Gribber, but just also triple the effect. And I can get an Amalgadon or a Maxna, or, I mean, there's no beast in lobby, so Maxna isn't possible, but I can get some other 6-drop that could be useful on this board, like Firebat. Also, a quick reminder that these games are all played live on stream on Twitch, so if you want to catch me live, you know, just hang out with everyone, feel free to hop over there, ask questions, and just join the gambles. We gamble on every game as well. We're kind of addicted. We're able to get our hands onto an Amalgadon, so we already are in an amazing spot because Spore probably comes out. Against Savjz, it's okay, but I mean, Amalgadon is just gonna get poisoned, of course, which it did. Didn't get a shield, but that's fixable because there's Max in the lobby. I'm gonna start leading with this Trickster again. Against Pirates, I really wanted to open with Windfury. Against Savjz, I don't think it's gonna matter too much. Dude, look at all the effects going off at the end of the turn. I think it's so beautiful. Like, triple the hero power, triple the Gribber, then also the Mummy, I guess. On top of that, we're able to just beat a Savjz, which is pretty impressive. And I think it's weird because I haven't seen that many Rags in my lobbies do well. I have not seen many people pick Rag at all, which I think is super underrated. I've played Rag like 2 or 3 times already, and every time it felt so easy and so free because you just outstat people like nuts. I also finally found a Light Fang. I'm gonna take a Spore again because I know I'm gonna face Patches eventually, and we know that they just have big pirates. The Mummy hasn't done anything. Time to sell it and time to get some passive gain from the Light Fang, which triggers 3 times. So it's like a golden Light Fang and a normal Light Fang on my board. Just this one single Light Fang. Putting it out. That is great. So let's see if we can now beat the Ragnaros, who was able to, you know, get the better of us earlier on. It was really close. And their buddy is just a worse version from our buddy in multiple different ways. They have a big Zap, which is kind of funny. They're shaking as well, so they're going full tempo. They're actually really big because they also have this Flat Tusk and big Divine Shield. My health buff is pretty massive though. Like, this is why I like Golden Trickster. Very often right now you can play a Menagerie, or if you triple into Firebat, or if you find Domos, you always have a good card to buff up and you always get great value out of it since we're more into tempo oriented stuff. Now, it's really bad against poison, but it is good if you have poison on the board because you can, you know, bump the health of your Spore, for example. And against Maleficent, a lot of health is also useful, so I think the value of Trickster also went up because of that. So time to go to 6. I don't think there's much for us to do on tier 5. I'm just kind of going AFK. I just bought a Jug. I'm freezing for some Selfless Heroes, setting up for a good end game, and I'm gonna, you know, I think I'm gonna be bigger than Patches here, which is my assumption, which is why I didn't play the Spore. I don't really know what to sell anyway. I could sell my Light Fang or my Bran to play the Sport, but I'm so healthy, and I still, you know, don't want to sell Bran because if I find more Amalgadons, I do want to get a perfect Dong on the board. I didn't feel the reason to do so. I will lose a fight unless I win this 50-50, which I don't, sadly enough, but we know that we're like competing in size with Patches pretty easily, and we know that we're like probably more favored because we can put Amalgadons on the board and he will have a tougher time doing that. So I got a pair on Self as they're facing Ghost. We'll just let the Light Fang do its thing. And there's a second Light Fang, which I'll just take. We could triple it, and I mean, I could even sell the Bran for it if I want to milk a whole lot. It is risky because if I sell Bran and I find Amalgadon, I can't really play Bran Amalgadon, but I'm just having too much fun trying to build an AFK comp. I'm just gonna sell Bran, and I think just with pure these stats, we beat both opponents. I also want to point out the stats of our Gribber. Look at how big our Gribber is. Over 100. It's not even golden. I found it rather late, and it's massive. It's like my hard carry, my biggest guy on the board pretty much. So I think it's nuts. Just even if you have 1 golden or just 2 goldens like I had on Rag, I would always take an early grubber still. Like, the potential is insane, and you guarantee get your golden buddy anyway, which will also help you and count towards that. So I feel like overall the value of grubber went up because passive scaling and the stats are so good, and you guaranteed get a golden buddy, depending on what hero you play, of course, whether or not you value keeping your buddy on the board. But that's another cool thing to point out. Now it's the patches end game. They have 8 triples. I'm just gonna salvage these life swings now. Done milking. Let's finish this game up. Play our final stats here. Didn't find another Amalgadon, but I did pick up another brand just in case we did. And I'll just slam a Selfless on the board. And probably sell the brand as well for the sport just to be safe. You could also start selling your buddy, but buddy is still better than the brand here. Brand is only better if maybe we find an Amalgadon next turn. But even then, I don't want to take that risk. I still, you know, think the stats from the buddy are definitely worth it against a grubber person. They're just killing with grubber. Now they do have a golden Selfless. They also got golden grubber, so they can scale up this Salthuter as well, which they have. And hopefully our Selfless lands well onto one of these poisons. Or actually, it doesn't matter. Like, most cards on my board should trade pretty properly into my opponent's board as well, except for the 1 grubber, which seems to outscale most of my cards. But yeah, we win this one. We don't deal a lot of damage with 10 damage, so it seems to be a grindy end game. So it's either I counter them, he counters me, or whoever scales more. So this is a very intricate end game that is very fun. We found a module finally for our Amalgadon though, also a golden Selfless. I'm a little bit scared of getting Ghouled, because Ghoul will kill our Spore and, you know, gets rid of some of our shields. And if I put Selfless first, which I'm not gonna do because of my hero power, but if Selfless pops before his Ghoul pops, that could also be an issue. I could Ghoul them potentially, delay my Ghoul. I'm also gonna switch my positioning up, open with a Cyclone this time around, so hopefully Cyclone yeah, is able to get a trade onto his taunt here, which is indeed the case. He is down a unit. I don't know why or what happened there. Sadly, we popped the shield for him, which is unfortunate, and then trade into his biggest guy. These trades were really bad, or not his biggest guy, but they could have just still value traded another pirate. And now my health buff can also land on my plants, which didn't happen. But yeah, I had to put Selfless second, otherwise the health buff could land onto my Selfless and the Selfless doesn't pop. And also the plant, yeah, like positioning is really hard. Basically, is what I'm trying to say here. I can still, you know, for this endgame, maybe sell my buddy for another poison if I find it. I wasn't able to find it though. Picked up Zap just in case it's useful if they find like a Baron with their golden Selfless, so that way I can counter it. And I'm freezing for Sunbacon. If they ghoul me as well and I have time, I can cycle the Sunbacon, jam up my Spore and be safe. They played an Acolyte to try and play around my big Cyclone, and as you noticed, I also started scaling up the Grubber with hero power because I do want Trickster earlier, so hopefully it lands onto my poisons instead of my plants or instead of something else that I don't care about. And it seems like this will finally be good enough to kill the patches. We won with Rag into a pretty high roll lobby. This was so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I'll be playing a whole bunch more Rag and seeing what cool stuff I can come up with. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next upload.